So just like last year, the athletic, or like not the athletic, most major publications are predicting Kelsey Mitchell to leave the Fever. Um, why I actually don't know, because apparently last year made sense because she was definitely set number two to Caitlin. For the first time in her career, she was the number two guard, and she also had a career year last year. She had a career year this year, and the only way that she leaves is if it's not a personal thing, if it's a basketball thing between her and Caitlin, and it's like both of them want the team to be ran completely differently, and it just isn't going to work out. And there could be like an amicable split where they're both like, look, this isn't going to work out. But I don't think that's going to happen. But the Athletic and there's a whole bunch of like reputable sources linking Kelsey to what I actually believe is one of the worst fits for Kelsey Mitchell. So a load of people are pitching her to the Storm. And that doesn't make sense because the Storm don't need a Kelsey Mitchell. They don't need a dynamic scoring two guard. They already have Neka. Malonga is going to average 15 a game next year. They already have Neka. They already have Dom. They already have Skylar. Like, assuming they keep all of those players, we saw how little shots Brittany Sykes got for them. So, like, someone's going to have to take a big backseat for the Storm. And another team is the Wings. Paige Bueckers' Wings named as best landing spot for Caitlin Clark's All-Star teammate. Like it was a whole free agency article by The Athletic. The Athletic, there's a paywall. I'll explain it here. Basically, they were saying players, they were talking about players, where they were going to land, who was going to sign who, and there was like a whole bunch of players that were like guarantees to stay, and that was like Nafisa Collier, Aja Wilson, Breanna Steward. They were all in the guarantees to stay, but for some reason, Kelsey Mitchell was in the like could leave. There was like guarantees. I think there was like most likely to stay, and then there was like free agents. Kelsey Mitchell was in the third group, and I'm like, what? And they were like Dallas. Like, time will tell. The Wings approach building around Paige. They're trying to win. They fire Chris Coughlanis. This is an unprecedented offseason. Practically every player, yada yada. The Athletic has identified Dallas and Seattle's landing spots for Mitchell. Three-time All-Stars regarded one of the league's most dangerous scorers. The Fever have insisted that re-signing Mitchell is their priority this offseason. They would have to come with a strong offer really high native. No shit, she's going to get a Supermax. Who'd be a great fit next to Paige in the backcourt. I mean, I have no question about it that Kelsey Mitchell will score wherever she goes, but like, why would you put what impact was a scoring shooting guard beside a scoring shooting guard? Like, we saw what playing beside Paige, point guard Paige, did to Enrique. We saw what shooting guard Paige did to Paige. Like, we saw how much better Paige was at the two this season. Like, point guard Paige has the problem of, when she plays point guard, she only looks to pass. And when she plays the two, she only looks to score. That's kind of the problem with Paige. Like, Paige is really fucking good. But like, Paige is going to be, if you have a system where there's a lot of ball movement and people are passing and she's able to finish plays, she can be the best scorer on your team and you can be a really good team. Do you know who else I just described with a player who can really cut, move backdoor, score in a system? Kelsey Mitchell. They're too alike. They are way too alike. Like, Kelsey Mitchell, people like to compare Paige and Caitlin. Paige is way closer to Kelsey Mitchell than Paige is to Caitlin as a player in how they play. It's like they are both, like, Paige is a two guard. Like, I understand, obviously, Paige is not a share it around point guard. I'm not saying she's selfish, but I'm saying that's not her game. That's not her game. When Paige passes the ball, Paige passes laterally 80% of the time, whereas Kelsey Mitchell's cuts are north-south. Like, Paige is not going to be hitting Kelsey Mitchell on those cuts north-south. Then you also don't have a post player like Aaliyah Boston to hit Kelsey in the back cut. Like, with Caitlin there, that's 8 points a game lost from Kelsey Mitchell just playing beside Paige, which forces Kelsey Mitchell into inefficient shots. Like, we saw what playing beside Paige did to Enrique. Like, I've no doubt about it. Like, that's not going to be the sign of trade. Like, the Fever aren't just going to get Arike, because Arike I don't think fits well with Caitlin. But like Arike would average 18 a game playing beside CC. She would. Like, I think there's a world where if Arike fully commits to it, like let's just say we lose Kelsey, and Arike fully commits and is like, look, I've been watching tape on Kelsey. I'm playing all off the ball. I'm running. I'm cutting. I'm running. I promise you guys, I'm not taking more than 2 dribbles. That Arike is just Kelsey Mitchell. It says Mitchell's arrival would end for icon Arike 7-year run Dallas, but it's like Kelsey's definitely better than Arike. Don't get it twisted. Kelsey's better than Arike. But they are naturally similar archetype type players. So if you don't have a Caitlin, if you don't have an Aaliyah, getting them easy looks off those DHOs, off the cutting, to take advantage of Kelsey's ball movement. When you take away the players that allow Kelsey to move off the ball at an elite rate, when you take away your offensive engine point guard, when you take away your offensive hub center, Kelsey Mitchell becomes Arike. When you put the ball in Kelsey Mitchell's hands and you let her take more than 2 dribbles, she becomes Arike. But when Kelsey, the difference is that when Kelsey takes 1 to 2 dribbles, there's much more of a willingness to be efficient from Kelsey than Arike. Whereas Arike is going to take those 8 dribbles no matter what. There's a lot more of a willingness to be efficient. But I'm sorry, if Kelsey's does not have the people around her to go and get her scores, she's just going to dribble the air out of the ball. We've seen that too much. But it is an interesting one to see Dallas. And if, by the way, if I'm Dallas, she's not who I want beside Paige either. She's not who I want beside Paige. I want Paige to play that too. I want Paige to play the 2. I'm calling everybody. I'm calling Jackie Young. I'm calling Julie Alamont to start at the 1. Because what you want with Paige is you want a point guard who will get Paige the ball, who will be fine, who's got a handle, who's smart, who just is a steady point guard. Just like, say, with LeBron back in the day with Mario Chalmers. Like, he just needed steady point guards. Steady point guards, take it up, get the ball over. I think Julie Alamond is a perfect player. Like, they need a Grace Berger archetype, but better than Grace Berger. That's the issue. Is that Grace Berger, you saw Grace looked for Paige. There's a lot of point guards that don't look for Paige, like a JJ Quinterly. But the league is a lot of like old school point guards, whereas Julie Alamond will get the fucking ball to Paige. And then power forward, ideally you draft Awafam. Power forward for me that you can put beside Awafam. I'm just like the Fever. I'm calling up Azare. I'm calling up Alana Smith, giving one of them a max. I'm giving one of those 2 players a max if I'm them and they can get that. And then small forward, I'm looking more so at, you're not going to get a K-Mac. You're probably not going to get a Jackie Young. I don't know. You do need like a top tier. Maybe you try to get a Copper, but I don't think she'll leave Phoenix. You do need like a dynamic. You need one more dynamic player. That's all you need. If you have Paige and Awa, and then you need 2 role players and one more dynamic player. You can have a role player 4, role player 1. You need one. That's all you need. You just need one more dynamic wing, preferably some size in that. There's not that many players though to fit that mold, which is a problem. Which is genuinely a problem. I think they kind of hoped Diamond Miller was going to be that. And if nothing else, if you're dead set on Paige playing the 1, Zaza James is right there. She's right there. Like, she's a bucket. She genuinely is a bucket. The problem is that small forward position is still a lack. They thought Dejanay was going to be that. She wasn't. I think it's going to be really interesting to see what they do, because I don't think Seagrass is good enough to play to be a top tier 4, especially if you've got Fam at the 5, unless they want to bring Awa off the bench and go for a Bree Jones or something, which I think could fit with Paige. Genuinely, I think could fit with Paige. So it's an interesting one, but Kelsey Mitchell, don't see it happening.